Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on Chess.com's Tactics Trainer and going to do another group of 3 puzzles and simply share my thoughts along the way. Okay, I know the answer to this one. I haven't seen this one before, but okay, playing as black here. There's a threat against h7, but not only that, there's an unprotected rook. Additionally, we have a check against the king. So I'm thinking we could stop any threat against our rook first by playing queen b8 with check. We defend our rook. And then after h6, the knight is trapped. Yeah, no good squares for him to go to. I am concerned some, though. Because can't we first go here anyhow? Oh no, we can't. See, what I'm doing right here is just wondering if there's any difference between the move order. My idea is queen b8 and then h6, and so I then questioned, can we play h6 first? And only then, after, let's say, knight takes f7, play queen b8? That wouldn't work. Because on h6, knight f7, queen check, there's now knight e5. So the idea here is to make sure that we could insert this check right now at a moment where there isn't some opportunity for a knight e5 move, and only then give the knight a kick with h6 and he's trapped, and our rook is defended, everything is coordinated really well. That must be it. Insert the check first, address this potential attack against our rook, and now simply trap the knight. And it should be puzzle solved. That's going to do it. Just going into the analysis board. If we do this right here, knight takes, there's a double attack against our rook. And it's actually quite tricky now, because this knight's going to take up a very strong post on e5. Even though black's up the exchange, white has a pawn for it, and a really strong knight soon on e5. Queen check here, knight e5. Yeah, tricky from there. Move order, very important. Queen here first, and only then give him a kick. Alrighty. That wasn't too bad. Let's try another. Team black again. Ooh. Some opening, huh? Some opening trick? Knight g5. I feel like I've seen this before. Alrighty. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. f7, first and foremost, is hit. Knight or bishop can take with check. There's possibilities for maybe taking here, deflecting the bishop away from the knight. Maybe a timely c2 move, deflecting the queen away. Does hit with the fork. However, we have to be a bit careful of something like that. Queen d5 is a move. White can make a queen move and be threatening mate. Let me rethink this one, actually. Can't we just do this move? Yeah, this is often a good reply to this attack on f7. When we have this queen knight out. Yeah, knight on f3, he gave up the e5 square. We could play to e5, throw a punch at the bishop and defend f7. Suppose pawn takes pawn. How are we doing material-wise? Are we just up a pawn? Yeah, we're just up a pawn. So, what would we do if knight e5 and then pawn takes here? That doesn't seem so convincing. Could be the idea to just stop the threat against f7, though. We don't have very many pieces out. The pawn, bishop, knight. This is a loose piece. I don't think there'd be a trick with queen takes, knight, bishop takes, and then pawn takes. Being on the rook, the knight could move and the queen defends the rook. Alrighty. Yeah, this is a bit tricky. Not sure what other candidate move I'd have here. This seems very lame to just go and defend the knight like that, knight h6. I'm certainly looking more into this active defense with throwing a punch as well. Knight e5. Wow. What else is there? d5? What does that do after bishop takes here? It's not working. I'm not sure where else white is weakened. Aside from the bishop on c4, who's unprotected, white isn't doing so bad, huh? I'm pretty stumped here. I can't come up with anything other than knight e5. What am I missing? Yeah, I don't get it. After knight e5, pawn takes here. If we take the bishop, they take our bishop. Pawn takes here. And, well, maybe that's what it is. We just take the pawn and allow, let's say, bishop takes pawn. That must be what it is. We have to allow something like this. Well, I don't know if we have to, but we're looking for what's best. Maybe this is best. One thing I do know is that on pawn takes, if the bishop takes, we win the knight. And defend g7. That must be what it is. I can't come up with any other candidate move. Pawn takes. Deflect the bishop away from the knight. Alright, let's consider some stuff on f7, though. After c takes b, I know what I'm doing on bishop takes pawn. What am I doing on bishop takes f7 check? Yeah, just king f7, right? He only has 3 options. You don't want to go here. You don't want to go to e7 because you block the queen from seeing the knight, so simply king f8, keep pressure on the bishop. Keep pressure on the knight. And we're still on the rook at that point. Yeah, that's really no big deal. A bishop takes f7 check. We just scoot our king out of the way. No problem. And keep in mind we're ready to take the rook and promote to a queen. So suppose pawn takes, bishop f7, king f8, and something, I don't know, semi-wild like queen f3, threatening discoveries. We can still take the rook. And some bishop move, we could return our queen to f6. It won't go that far in this puzzle, but just some rough thoughts. What more to cover? Pawn takes pawn, knight takes f7. We could scoop up the rook. Yeah, why not? We take the rook, get a new queen. Knight takes queen, I don't know. I guess we could take either way at that stage. Knight takes knight or king takes. We'd be up a minor piece and a rook from that variation. Still have a queen on the board in the corner. This must be it. Yep, and just king to f8. And now queen takes knight. Interesting. Yeah, it took me a while to... Well, clearly it took me a while to see that it would actually be quite alright. to allow bishop takes f7 check. It is just a check. After king to f8, our punches are pretty strong, with the pawn on b2 and keeping pressure on the knight, deflecting the bishop away. After that capture, how might we describe this position? Well, how might we describe, let's say, the bishop on c1 right now? And this is, so I'm kind of just going back here, how I could have maybe corrected my thinking. I was pointing out that the bishop is unprotected. That is true. But one other thing that I should have identified, maybe much sooner, was that the bishop on c1 is overloaded. He has to defend both b2 and g5. But what really distracted me was, trying to not even allow a piece to crash through on f7. Okay, overloaded piece is taken advantage of with this capture. Alright, let's try one last one. Oh, I'm not going to like this one. Too tricky. Actually, I think I've had this one before. I don't know if I had it while doing a video like this, but I feel like I've seen this before. Yeah, I think I had this one before. I believe it's you make a knight move to get the rook here, and then you get the queen and rook coming in here for mate. Yeah, I think I might end up doing a fourth one. I believe I just know the answer. Knight takes f7 with rook check here. Hang on for a moment. Our queen is also under fire. Let's keep that in mind. Knight check here. King f6. What's the good follow-up? Not really seeing it. And we have to be pretty direct, because if we're going with a knight move, we're also opening up a new possibility for black with queen f2 if we're not continually throwing strong punches. Knight takes f5, pawn takes. Rook d7 check. What are we doing after, let's say, king h6? Yeah, I've had this one before, but I'm not recalling what the solution is. I know it has something to do with this, though. Pretty sure. Knight takes pawn. We're on the knight then. He's a loose piece after we take here, so you have to take back and defend. Knight f5, pawn takes knight. What else would there be besides rook d7? I don't see it. The king can't go to the back rank because we would have queen c8. So he has to move forward. He has to go onto the 6th rank. Knight f5, pawn takes knight, rook d7. If the king goes to any of these two squares, our queen enters on f7 with check. And then, crashes through over here. But what are we doing on king h6? Still not seeing that. Chop, chop, rook d7, king h6. Oh, you know what? We might be able to allow this check. I think we might be able to allow this check on f2. So if we take rook d7, king h6, I think we can actually afford a quiet move. With, and this is important, I think queen g8. Because there might be some defense with the queen coming over here. Yeah, this is a bit tricky. Knight takes pawn, pawn takes knight. Rook d7 check, king h6. Where would we go with our queen? I'm pretty sure it's a queen move there. I don't see how we're improving our rook further from d7 at that moment. On move 3, chop, rook d7. I don't see a rook move as being our third move. Yeah, there's no good rook move at that point, so it's a queen move. Our queen's under fire. Where would she go? If she goes to g8, we're threatening rook takes h7 mate, with the king being on h6. So a queen on g8. Suppose queen f2 check, king h3. Where's the next check? Queen f1, but after king h4, there's no good follow-up. Our king is actually fine on h4, and mate will be coming up very soon. However, my concern is after takes, rook d7, king h6, queen g8. Suppose the queen comes over to start defending some squares around the king, offering a queen exchange. Suppose queen g6 at that point, because I'm pretty much fine with the queen f2 move. Queen g8, queen g6. Now what? What would we do there? We would have a queen f8 check. Our rook is on d7, our queen is on g8, and their queen is on g6. What can we do from there? There's a check on f8. The queen is defending h7. Check on f8. Yeah, this knight's a bit of a pain. I'd like to be able to get the rook on the 6th rank, but the knight is defending here. I feel that it is here, queen to g8. Knight takes, rook d7, king h6, queen g8, queen g6. Is there some sneaky deflection with rook takes, queen takes? No, I don't think so. We're only playing with one piece at that point. Let me not forget also that, okay, after takes here. This pawn, of course, isn't here. It's the queen, the black queen that is here. If the knight wasn't here, maybe a queen g5 move is available. Like with this variation of taking on f5, rook d7, king h6, queen g8, queen g6, rook takes, queen takes. It'd be really nice if we could then play queen to g5. That would be mate. That would deflect the queen away from the g5 square, but this pesky knight is still there to defend g5. Might there be something related to that still? Kind of running out of pieces, though. It's only the queen and rook that are... The queen, rook, and maybe the f4 pawn that are contributing to some mating net against the king. Yeah, this is going to be the last one I do. Even though I know I've had this one before. I sure hope that it wasn't in one of the videos I already did. My apologies if that is the case. Alright, knight takes. I mean, I don't see any other candidate move. Am I sure about this is the first move? I'm pretty sure it's this is the first move. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this is still the first move. I just don't... Am I getting the third move right? Take on f5, they recapture rook d7. I'm pretty sure that's that's the second move. Pretty sure it's king h6, but am I correct on queen g8? She has some other options, right? Man. Alright, let's still go with queen g8, queen g6. Oh, okay, I'm seeing something. We could play queen f8 check. Yeah, we could play queen f8 check. And the king has to go here. Then what would we do? Oh, we could play maybe rook to g7, attacking the queen. And where would the queen go? Because she has now a very important responsibility, actually. With the queen on f8 giving check, we're forcing the king to the 5th rank, and from f8 we're eyeing the f5 pawn. So we can potentially take this pawn with check if the black queen goes too far away. So with this queen f8 line, king h5, rook g7, where would the queen go? She goes to h6, we take on f5, and it's just collapsing. Yeah, we'd be mating from there. The knight would have to block. We take the knight with the rook. Queen takes, and then we mate on g5 with our queen. Where would the queen go then? After we have our rook on g7, our queen is on f8, their king is on h5. Doesn't have too many options. There's no good check against our king. Suppose queen... suppose queen to e6. Oh, we could take on h7 with check. And then that'll be leading to mate. Yeah, the queen's going to be overloaded. I think that's what it is then. After we take on f5 and get our queen to g8, go to f8. After this rook g7 move, there's too many responsibilities for the black queen on g6 to defend f5 and h7. Both squares at that stage with the king on h5. If we take either of these pawns with either our rook or queen, they're both hitting with check, and that should be decisive. I don't think I have to go any further. That's it. Check. Oh, I hate that. Not satisfying at all. Let me go into the analysis. It didn't go any further with the puzzle. Rook check. King here. Queen here is the key move. Let me just double check in the little notation that they have here. It doesn't point out any of this queen f2 stuff, but I don't think I need the help of the annotation for this, because there's only one good check here. Well, not a good check, but there's only one decent check, I guess. King h4, and then there's nothing to do about defending h7. So queen f2 wasn't a fear, but after queen here, I'm almost certain that it would be queen f8. Am I missing anything else from this point now that I have the pieces moved? I don't think so. We go to f8, king here, and now we go to g7. And this is too much. The queen can't move and still defend both of these two pawns. Yeah, but both f5 and h7 can't still be defended. Queen here, this was the mate I was referring to. They have to do these kind of blocks, and then we give mate. And where else is the queen going? Here. We can give this check. And if the king goes here, we have that mate. And if he goes here, we have that. Okay, I thought it probably would have been better to take it out just a little bit more with this queen g8 and queen g6 to see the idea of queen f8 and then rook to g7. I'm pretty sure that that's how it would follow up if it did take it out a little bit further, but maybe you could let me know in the comments section below, those of you that are putting these to the test against your engine of choice. Anyhow, feel free as usual to leave any feedback to this video. Let me know how you did. Did you get all three? Let me know in the comments section below, and as usual, I hope you got something out of it. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.